Hello and welcome to the in-depth series of Drishti IAS. Have you ever been to Taj Mahal? Or are you planning to visit Taj Mahal? Then this particular news might come as a surprise to you because Taj Mahal is in a sorry state. Now, what is the entire matter? It has to, of course, do with pollution, but more to the story, we will know everything about it. The current issue, the background about Taj Mahal in brief, what is the legislature that protects the Taj Mahal, the dangers to the Taj Mahal, what has the Supreme Court said in the past with respect to the state of affairs, what is the government doing or what has been done. Apart from that, what more needs to be done, and a question. You're going to learn a lot many things from the GS paper 1 perspective. It's important that you understand this topic, and also from the preliminary perspective. What is the current issue? Understand that first. So the Supreme Court on September 26th has directed the Agra Development Authority to stop all the commercial activities within a 500-meter radius of the Taj Mahal because the Makrana marble through which the Taj Mahal has been made, it is getting yellowish in color because of course, the pollutants. And this petition was lodged on the behalf of the shopkeepers who are legitimately there, and they have said that illegal business or illegitimate businesses are thriving in the western gates of the monument, which are against what the Supreme Court said in its last case. Moving ahead, let us talk about the background of it, and here we are going to talk about the Taj Trapezium Zone case. Now, since the 1970s, there are growing concerns that the industries which are working near the Taj Mahal are polluting it, and that is turning yellow and black, Taj Mahal to be turning into yellow and black in certain places, not all, certain places. So the central government demarcated an area of 10,400 square kilometer, which is around the Taj, and that is known as the Taj Trapezium Zone. Okay, so this Taj Trapezium Zone is going to be the core when we are talking about that no pollutants should be situated in the Taj Trapezium Zone, and that area should be, that entire ecosystem should be conserved and protected at any cost. Okay, moving ahead, another very important facet over here is that the industries, foundries, vehicles and the nearby Mathura petroleum refinery, these were the major causes of whatever distortion of color of Taj was taking place because of sulfur dioxide. And also, the petitioners, they asked the court to take immediate measures to stop air pollution within the Taj Trapezium Zone. Moving ahead, if we talk about the issue rose in the MC Mehta versus Union of India and Others case of 1996, in which it was identified that coal and coke consuming industries, these were damaging the monuments, and 292 industries were mandated to switch to natural gas as industrial fuel so that emission is not there, or they should relocate. That was the other option. And here in this particular case, the Supreme Court said the atmospheric pollution in Taj Trapezium Zone has to be eliminated at any cost. I have attached a picture of MC Mehta as well. Moving ahead, let's know about the Taj Mahal. So the Taj Mahal is situated on the right bank of the Yamuna River in Agra district of Uttar Pradesh. It is 17 hectares, almost 17 hectares area of land is there, and it was commissioned by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan because he was grief-stricken after the death of his third wife, Anjuman Banu Begum, who was popularly known as Mumtaz Mahal, or the chosen one of the palace. Okay, and she was the third wife after she gave birth, as she was giving birth to her 14th child. She died in the process. And in Padshahnama, it was also written that he was so grief-stricken that overnight his bed turned white. We do not know how correct it is, but it is mentioned in Padshahnama. So that is why Taj Mahal is known as, a symbol of love. Moving ahead, it started to be constructed in 1632, and by 1648, the mosque, the guest house and the main gateway on the south was completed. Then the outer courtyard and its cloisters were added subsequently and completed in the year 1653 AD. And more than 20,000 workers worked on the construction of Taj Mahal. They were called from myriad places, specifically from Central Asia and Iran. Moving ahead, if we talk about the chief architect, he was a Persian named Ustad Isha Khan, and he was assisted by many other architects to give the entire structure an amalgamation of Persian, Turkish, and Indian as well as Islamic architecture. Now, a combination of these many architectural, you can say, categories should ring in your mind that how it was also a symbol of peace and prosperity and harmony. Moving ahead, as it is made up of, most of the areas are made up of red sandstone, but the main building, that is the Taj and the minarets, is made up of Makrana marble. Makrana is a place in Rajasthan. Now the Taj Mahal's beauty comes from here only. In morning, it looks like pinkish white. In the noon, white, and sometimes in, we can say, the night where full moon is there, we can also see it in bluish hue. So that is also there. It's a perfectly symmetrical planned building. Symmetrically planned building means this is the building, suppose this is the structure, and the main building is over here. This is, suppose this is not Taj Mahal, but a main building is over here, the main building is over here. If some object has been established here or built here, the same will be built here as well. And this is known as bilateral symmetry. So bilateral symmetry is there along the central axis on which the main features are placed. The building materials, brick and lime mortar veneered with red sandstone has been used, but majorly the main building and the cenotaphs are, of course, marble. Moving ahead, let's talk about the uniqueness of the Taj Mahal. So first of all, we have to know that during the transition period, we saw that Mughals were basically using red sandstone. But as the emperor to emperor transition took place, we saw usage of marble from the reign of Shah Jahan. It was dominated after the reign of Shah Jahan. So first, that the uniqueness of the Taj Mahal, it lies on certain premises. First, we have to understand that earlier Mughal buildings used to put the main building in the center. But Taj Mahal, it was built on the end of the quadripartite garden. And this was very different because it also gives the depth. Whenever you are going to visit Taj Mahal, you will see it at a very depth, from the other Mughal buildings. So that is one of the uniqueness. It goes a very long way. Apart from that, it is also one of the best examples of raised tomb variety. And the large double-storied dome chamber, it houses the cenotaphs of Mumtaz Mahal and Shah Jahan, and it is a perfectly octagon in plan. Perfect octagon in plan. These, of course, the upper ones are not the real, you can say, the tombs of or the graves of Mumtaz Mahal and Shah Jahan, but these are cenotaphs, and the actual ones are in the crypts, which was very common in the Mughal system. Moving ahead, if we talk about the cenotaphs of Mumtaz, it was in perfect center of the tomb chamber, and it is placed on rectangular platform decorated with inlaid flower plant motif. And that of Shah Jahan, it is greater than of Mumtaz Mahal, and it was laid 30 years after her demise, after her tomb was built, and that was after 30 years to the west of her grave. Moving ahead, let us talk about more of it. The 4 freestanding minarets were a very unique feature of this particular Taj Mahal because it was unknown to Mughal structures. And the gardens are Timurid Persian scheme. They are following the Timurid Persian scheme. Moving ahead, let's talk about the colonial contribution to this particular monument. In 1857, during the rebellion, during the first mutiny, as we call it, the first mutiny led to Taj Mahal being defaced by British soldiers and government officials, in which it was seen that they chiseled out important and precious stones as well as lapis lazuli from the walls of the Taj Mahal. And then what happened, that after a period of time, British Viceroy Lord Curzon said that we need to restore the Taj Mahal, and he proposed a massive restoration policy for the Taj Mahal, which was completed by the year 1908. And a large lamp in the interior chamber has been introduced in the Taj Mahal, which was modeled after the one in Cairo Mosque. Okay, and we can still see that British style lawns are in place over there. Moving ahead, let's talk about it becoming a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It was only in the year 1983, and this reads as the Taj Mahal's, you can say, quotation for the UNESCO World Heritage reads as the jewel of Muslim art in India and one of the universally admired masterpieces of the World Heritage. Okay, moving ahead, let us talk about the protection. The Archaeological Survey of India is designated to protect the acts which are related to Taj Mahal, go like Ancient Monument and Archaeological Site Act of Remains Act of 1958 and the Rules 1959 Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains of. So these two acts are seen okay with respect to protection of the Taj Mahal, but more needs to be done. There are certain dangers to the Taj Mahal from natural to man-made. Natural go like because mineral impurities which are present in the marble, they oxidize themselves and create brown stains. Rain also has a weathering impact on them, the marbles, creating cracks in the marbles. Apart from that, the iron dowels used to fix the marble slabs on the buildings also get rusted and they leave the rusting on the monument. For tourists, we have to say that because certain times it can also happen, unregulated number of tourists also get attracted to Taj Mahal. Sometimes it can, some days it can also go more than 50,000. More than 50,000 tourists visit the Taj Mahal in a day sometimes. So constant treading wears down the marble floors. And because we have to understand that so many people are in that area, it can also create humidity and moisture is not good for the building overall. We have to understand that the greater threat is to the red sandstone, which is porous in nature, but not much to the marble, but to the red sandstone because it is porous in nature. Moving ahead, if we talk about air pollution, a US-India conducted study said that dust and carbon containing particles which settle on the monument, they are causing discoloration. And also, Yamuna is first of all polluted, also receding. The waters of the Yamuna are getting lesser and lesser. And as we know, it is based on the Taj Mahal is based on the banks of the Yamuna. We have to understand this particular diagram. Okay, so it is like this. The structure of Taj Mahal is like this, and it is supported by 180 wells. And this particular region stays below the Yamuna. So this is the base, and this wood is the sal tree wood. And sal tree wood constantly need moisture. That means the water level of Yamuna should be constant over here. But if it is not being so, what happens? That these sal woods, they start cracking. And when they start cracking, the base of the Taj Mahal will get disrupted. So see it like this, okay? And a 2011 media report only suggested that receding Yamuna is weakening the sal wood in the foundation of the Taj. Apart from that, tree felling. Because in order to create roads and other infrastructure, tree felling has been undertaken. And in the summers, when scorching heat swells the entire North India, this creates a problem because what happens that hot dusty winds, they have an abrasive effect on the marble as well. Moving ahead to the next portion, that is of course the other dangers, damage by insects. This is one of the other damages we are talking about because as we see, because of the contamination of Yamuna, we saw fishes thriving and they used to eat insects. So now as the water is contaminated and there are no fishes, the insects breed in Yamuna in the daytime and in the evening they start attacking the monument. Okay, moving ahead, now let's talk about the Supreme Court stand. In July 2018, the Supreme Court condemned Uttar Pradesh government's lethargy and also saying that UP government is not at all bothered with the for the particular monument. No action plan or vision document has been updated for the protection of the monument, and also said either you demolish it or you restore it. Either you demolish the Taj or you restore it. This was in 2018. And the Supreme Court also criticized the UP government for not producing a vision document that I have already told you. There were also issues with IITs and authorities who were considering proposals by several industries that were wanting to extend and expand their units in the demarcated area. And that was a surprise because an ad hoc moratorium was imposed by the courts on these units. So the government was clearly not appreciative of the fact that Supreme Court is so serious about the matter. The Supreme Court said that Archaeological Survey of India has to be thrown out of the picture if we have to conserve Taj. So it reprimanded ASI as well. Moving ahead now, let's talk about what has the government done so far. So several committees, although have been formed by the state administration for waste management, nothing significant has been achieved. Apart from that, sewage treatment plants are being installed, restoring the Yamuna back to its older glory. Its erstwhile glory is of utmost importance because, first of all, sal tree needs moisture. Also, in order to curb pollution near the river, it is important that we get on with our fishes as well. So, reintroduction plans should be encouraged. Involving the traditional pachikars should also be done in conservation work, but not a lot has been achieved. Now, let's look at the particular portion which says what needs to be done, more needs to be done. A dedicated vision plan or a law should be put into place in which proper accountability should be put on the shoulders of the authority so that more can be done. Sustainable economic activity should be encouraged. Proper shops in the proper area should be designated, not mushrooming of many shops. Restoring Yamuna River will do a lot, first of all, for the sal tree, that is the base of the Taj. Apart from that, to curb the menace of insects. Building green corridors will also help a lot because those will capture the particles that are because of the emissions of the industry. ASI to work in tandem with ADA so that there is coordination between the central agency and the other agencies, and tourist awareness should be raised. Regulation of tourists will also help. Now let us look at the question for today's segment. The Taj Mahal was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in the year. So these are the many options that have been given. You have to tell the correct answer in the comment segment. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay updated.